Hey there YouTube fans, AC Productions here, and today I'm going to be showing you on how to remove and replace your motorcycle hand grips. Now, the reason you ask about how to replace them, say, hey, Fonzo, my hand grips are pretty good, why would I need to do this? Well, say that you bought a used bike and the hand grips are no good, they're kind of disgusting. You kind of want to replace them with some fresh new ones. Maybe there's some hand grips you saw on the internet, you really like it, so it's just personal preference really on changing your hand grips to something else, maybe a different design. Maybe the stock hand grips that you got on your bike are not that comfortable, so you go in on the internet and you could find some more comfortable hand grips for your motorcycle. So in this video I'm going to be showing you in the video I'll let you know about one way to remove the handle grips, which is a lot of people use this method. I don't personally like the method, but I'll tell you what it is. Then the second method is a way to remove it and actually still save the hand grip. So these are going to be the hand grips that I'm going to be using to replace my current ones. There's nothing really wrong with mine, but I figured this year it's already been close to 5 years with the stock hand grips on the R3, and I kind of just want to change it up. So I got these hand grips. So these hand grips, as you can see, it has like this stripe over here. There's a little bit of a grip here, and then this is actually metal. It's actually aluminum. So it kind of just gives it a little bit of a different style. And then you got the sliders, which are up here. These are all made out of aluminum here too. But for these sliders that are on these particular hand grips, I'm not going to be using. I'm going to still be using the ones that I have. And the reason is, I'll show you in a second right now. Now, if you look at the stock hand grips on my R3, you could see I do have these aftermarket handlebar sliders. Now, these stick out fairly out from the handlebars. With these new hand grips, as you can see, it comes with its own little small slider. And when you compare the hand grip with its slider, as you could see how much shorter that is. Now, that's totally up to you if you want to rock out the new sliders that came with your hand grips, or you could just stick with the ones that you currently have, or if you want to get longer ones, you can. There's just so many bar end sliders out there. I'll probably have a few links on the description box below. But yeah, like I said, these stick out not as far as the ones I have. Now, I particularly like these longer ones just because if I were to tip over my bike, since they do stick out further from the bike, that will actually help protect the side fairings. If I were to put these on there, it's a 50-50 chance it still might scrape the fairings, so I just like a little bit more protection, so I'm going to stick with those. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started on the tools that you're going to need to remove these hand grips from your R3, or for pretty much any motorcycle for that matter. It doesn't really particularly have to pertain to the R3. Okay, these are going to be the tools that you're going to need to remove your hand grips. It's going to be your handle, a 5mm Allen key, 6mm Allen key, or whichever Allen key that your aftermarket handlebars have. And in the ones that I'll be using, they actually have for a 6mm Allen key, and that's going to be pretty much to remove the screw over here. Next would be isopropyl alcohol, paper towel, and WD-40. Now the optional, which I'm not going to be using, but I'll kind of just give you a small idea on how to do it, is going to be a razor blade. Just in case your bar end sliders are very hard to remove, you also may need some locking pliers that will come in handy. Alright, so let's go to the bike and let me show you what to do next. Okay, now for this method, I'm not going to particularly use, but I will show you what you're going to be doing if you need to do it this way. Now, this way we'll be using the razor blade method. Grab your very sharp razor blade and then just go ahead and cut the handle grip right off, and it'll just come right off. Same thing with the other side. You just go ahead and just cut into it and take it right off. If it has any bar end sliders, you want to just go ahead and remove those, reinstall them, or just put your own or the ones that come with your hand grips, your new ones. For me in particular, my hand grips are in pretty decent shape, so in this case I'm not going to be using the razor blade method. I will be actually removing them, which will be just a little bit difficult. Just depends on how your handle grips are on the bike. I've never removed them, how easily or hard they're going to be coming off of the bike. Alright, so let's get started on removing the bar ends and showing you the other method that I'll be using to remove them. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and remove our bar end slider. Now, I forgot to mention, if you still have your stock bar end sliders, process is still the same. Just go ahead, stick the Allen key in there and go ahead and remove them. If you find that when you turn your tool, it actually turns the bar end. As you could see, it's actually spinning. I'm not sure if you could see that. What you want to do then is just grab the bar end and then hold it firmly and then loosen up the bolt. Alright, so it looks like my bar ends are really on there, and they are kind of hard to remove no matter how hard I squeeze. I'm not that strong, so I'm not able to really hold it down to remove it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my locking pliers, set it, and then this part, if you don't want to damage your bar ends, or if you don't care, just go ahead and put them directly on there, clamp them down, and then insert the Allen key to remove it. But if you don't want to damage your bar ends, just get a microfiber towel, or just grab your paper towel, put it around, make sure that you fold up the paper a few times. So go ahead and fold it a few, and then I'm just going to put it around here like so. Grab my locking pliers and go ahead, lock them down. So go ahead and lock it down. Doing it this way, you're not going to damage your bar end and still have the necessary force to actually hold the part down and unscrew the bolt. If you feel that when you're unscrewing it, it's not coming out, just go ahead and start pulling it this way as you're turning it. And it's pretty much the case with this one, since it's been such a long time since I had them in there. Ah, that's why. It's pretty much still connected with the factory weight that I had in there. So it could be just that over time it got stuck. As you can see, there's some kind of material coming off of it. But I got it off, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my locking clamp onto here and then completely unscrew it off. Okay, now that I completely removed the bar end slider on this side, you pretty much want to just repeat the process on the other side. Okay, now the other parts. The trick, I think, is this can probably be a little bit more of the tricky part. Let's grab our WD-40 with the straw, of course. Pop it open, and what you want to do in this part is you want to grab the handle grip and then kind of pinch it, just so you could get like a little bit of a pocket to actually put the straw of the WD-40 in, and then just go ahead and give it some squirts. Okay, and then do the same thing on the bottom or on the side, anywhere you can. Try to stick it in as far as you can to spray in there. Now what you're doing is just pretty much lubricating it to have it where you could actually slide the handle grip off. Alright, so at this time, if you didn't get any on the handle grip itself, just go ahead and try to give it a little bit of a turn. And just pretty much keep on repeating this process. It may get a little bit messy until you get the handle grip off. So if you do get some on the handle grip, just get a paper towel and just continue spraying it in there. Or if you do have compressed air with tip or whatever, you could do the same thing, shoot air in there and then just twist it until it actually comes off of the handlebar. Okay, and then to help you with the process of actually removing it and make it a little bit more easier, once you can, just grab your screwdriver, push it in as far as you can. That'll open up the side, put your WD-40 straw in there, and then just go ahead and give it a few sprays inside. After doing that, just go ahead and start working the screwdriver around to get it loosened from the handlebars. So once you get it loosened, on this one obviously is my stock one from the factory, and when I did that I heard some cracks in there, so that means that this was probably either glued on or something, and I just finished breaking the seal. So as you're doing this, go ahead and start twisting it and pulling, and this will start coming off easier. And there we go. And as you can see, there is some residue right here, so that means that these were actually glued on to the bike. Okay, so now that we got those removed, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and then I'm going to go ahead and clean the bar, and I'll show you how to clean the bar in a second. Okay, now to clean the residue and the oil and everything off of your handlebars, go ahead and get your shop towel and your isopropyl alcohol, and let's go ahead and wipe that stuff off. Alright, so once you get it this much, just go ahead and just give it a good wipe down. Make sure that you get all of the diameter of the handlebar. And as you can see, it's still stock factory, so they had actually glued these on to the handlebars. If you can, just also take your time and actually try to get all that residue off of the hand grips, so when you install the new ones you don't have that on there. And for the new ones, we're not going to need to actually put glue on them. They should just go under without the glue. But if you would feel better or comfortable and want to use glue as well, you can. Alright, so as I'm going to pause it right now and just pretty much get the rest of this residue of the glue. As you can see, right there, so you could actually see the glue that they use. It's all over here. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape this stuff off, and then I'll get back, and then we'll go ahead and install our brand new hand grip on there. Alright, so pretty much what I normally always say when I'm doing one side and the other side is pretty much when you're doing one side, you do on the other side. In this case, I'm just going to be showing you a little bit that since they are two completely different sides, because the other side, it doesn't move, but on this side you have your throttle tube. So pretty much the process is almost the same, is that you're not going to be squirting into, when you pinch it, you're not going to be squirting into the metal part of the handle grip. You actually, when you pinch it, you're going to squirt right up in here, which is pretty much by the throttle tube. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, so when you pinch it, this is the part where you want to squirt into, is right over here. You don't want to squirt into this part because you're not going to get nothing, because the throttle tube is on the metal. So when you squeeze it, so make a little pocket, and then put your WD-40 in there, and then squeeze, squirt a little bit of the oil inside there. Same thing here on the side, squirt in there. At the bottom, squirt in there, and then on the side over here, go ahead and squirt in there. And what I found out, since I already did it, is that on the throttle side, it actually, once you put the oil in there, it's actually, as you can see, already spins, and all you have to do is just kind of spin it, and then go ahead and pull it out. So pretty much at this point, you just want to go ahead and spin it, and then just start pulling it outwards this way. And as you can see, it's coming off a lot easier than the other side. So go ahead and then just take it out like so, and now you're just left with your throttle tube, which surprisingly, since I've never taken that out, most throttle tubes are very smooth. This one actually has ridges on it. So I'm not sure you guys can see that in the camera. Maybe I'll move the other light to shine on it. You could see the ridges that are on this particular throttle tube. Like I said, most throttle tubes are smooth and they don't have these ridges. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean this up. Get the isopropyl alcohol, your shop paper towel, and let's clean all this oil off of there. Now that we got both hand grips off of the bike, now before you just go ahead and just grab any of one of the hand grips to put it on the bike, you want to make sure that you grab the right one. Yes, believe it or not, these are sized to one being throttle, the other one being for the non-throttle side. If you look right down the diameter of the hand grip, if you see on this side and the left side that I'm shaking, you can see the diameter is actually a lot smaller, and this one on the right side, the diameter is actually bigger. So the one here that I have on my right hand is going to be for the throttle side. This side is going to be for the non-throttle side. So the bigger one, throttle side, because it has to accommodate the throttle tube. This one, non-throttle side, because there is no tube. Alright, so I just wanted to make sure that you guys know before you guys just go ahead and grab any one of these and put it on there and find out, oh, this is too loose or this one's too tight. Just note that they are different on the inside. So these are the aftermarket ones, and even if you look on the stock ones, these are the stock handlebar grips. Even though they look the same on this side, when you look on the other end, it's the same thing. So if I were to flip it over, you can actually already see that this one over here is the left side and this side is the throttle side, because the diameter of the inside is bigger. Alright, so let's go ahead, and I think we're going to start off with the throttle end. So let me go ahead and grab my aftermarket ones, and if you already see that I have a hole in here, it's because I already started to take it apart, and I wanted to make sure before I continue the video. But now that you guys already seen this part, I'll show you on this one. Okay, so the reason that I had cut this one after I had removed the bar end is because since I am going to be still using these particular sliders that I had bought for the bike a while ago, it wouldn't fit with the way that these ones are made. As soon as I remove this one, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so now that I already removed the screw off of this one, now let me show you what I mean when installing these particular bar ends that I have for my bike. Like I said, I'm going to be reinstalling these just because they stick out from the bike more, and they'll protect in case I drop the bike. They stick out more, so they'll protect the fairings better. Alright, so like I said, if you don't have aftermarket ones like this, or you don't have aftermarkets at all, and you're just going to be using the ones that came with your hand grip, then don't worry about this step. You could skip the step and go on to the next part. But I just kind of wanted to show you from my end what I mean and why I had cut this one off. So once I remove the screw, as you can see when you remove it, it came like this. So this is pretty much a little cap went on this. Obviously this, it's made for this one, but since I'm not going to be using these, I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And I'll put this thing off to the side because this was inside. And as you can see, it's just rubber. So what I did is that I just cut this, I cut from here and I just cut it off straight, which ended up being like this. And then all I did was just measure the diameter of this piece and then cut the hole in there. So that's what I'm gonna do for this one. So that way when I put the hand grip on the bike, all I have to do is just push this in and it's gonna sit nicely like so. But again, this is only if you have some particular sliders just like this that have this part sticking out. You may have to just accommodate it and do what I just did. Okay, so first things first, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my handlebar weights back inside the handlebar. So I got both. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them inside. So you're gonna notice that they have these clips on there. So just go ahead and slide them in. Should go fairly easy. And then just slide it in to hear the click of these little clips on the ends. So let's go ahead and put it in like so. It doesn't really matter. Just go ahead and just slide it until you hear the little click. Okay, it doesn't seem like there is a click, but they just pretty much go flush alongside your handlebars. So go ahead and do it for both sides. Now let me just show you a little bit of a close-up to see, so you can see how it looks like there. Alright, so as you can see, here is that weight that we just put on there, and you can see on pretty much that this clip actually allows it not to slide in all the way, and it just stops right here at the end. So you pretty much want it flush with the handlebar. So go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so now make sure that you grab the right handlebar grip. As you can see, okay, kind of dark to see right now, but make sure that you grab the right one for the non-throttle side. Now the right one for the non-throttle side is going to be the one with the smaller diameter hole. So go ahead, that's that one. This other one's for the throttle side. So the one with the smaller diameter inlet hole is the one we're going to be grabbing. Now next, this part you're going to have to work somewhat semi-quickly just because we're going to be pouring the isopropyl alcohol down the tube here. Now that'll give it a little bit of lubricant to actually slide it in there, but once it dries, it should stay in place. So this is the part where you may have to work a little quickly, just depending on how much alcohol you put in there. So just go ahead and pour the alcohol inside. And make sure that as you're doing it, you're going to be spinning it so it could coat the whole inside of the hand grip. But just make sure that you coat the whole inside. Once you do that, just go ahead and start putting it in and twisting it and pushing it inside. So like I said, once the stuff dries, it should keep the hand grip in place. Okay, now I already got that on there. So when I was doing it, I was actually sliding it in, twisting it with both hands. Over here in the front to push it in, all the way in the back to push it in some more. So both of the actions. Right now I'm able to still kind of somewhat adjust it, but actually it's already dry. So it's already on there. As you can see, it's not moving. So, but for a second, when I had it on there, since I pour so much alcohol in there, by the time I got it here, I was still able to move it just a little bit. And if your hand grips have a design to it, and if you're like me, you want that design to be centered or whatnot. So this particular ones don't really have a design. Well, they have a design, but it's not like a graphic or anything. So I just pretty much just had this one up here, pretty much as an alignment really. So now that I have the hand grip on there, I noticed that the hand grip goes all the way to the edge of the handlebar. Now that may pose just a slight hiccup when I install this, just because when I put this on there, let me see if I could show you guys by pushing the screw in. Okay, so the screw I pushed in so you guys could see what I'm going to be talking about in a second here. So when I put this on there, you're going to see that there's going to be a gap. So there's a gap right here. So I could point it to the other way so you guys can see it from the side. So, and if you notice with the old hand grip, there was no gap. It was actually sitting flush against the slider. So in my case, I have this gap, but I'm actually going to be going to the hardware store. I'll find some adapter or some tube, maybe like a plastic cylinder tube to kind of cover the gap, so I don't have that issue on the look. That's only in my particular case, but in your particular case, if you're going to be using the stock or the ones that it came with, you won't have that issue, and this would just be sitting flush like so. Okay, now the same thing applies to the throttle side. Is you're going to go ahead, grab your hand grip, and same thing, you're going to pour the alcohol, and at the same time do it like so, and then turn the hand grip so you could coat the whole inside. Okay, so on this side it was a little bit more difficult just because of the ridges on the throttle tube, and even though I had put enough alcohol, I kind of didn't really align it for my side. But like I said, every hand grip is going to be different. You may not have any design on it, so it wouldn't really matter. But for me, I kind of just wanted this just a little bit further this way. But it is what it is, and I won't be able to really remove it without doing a big process about it. So the reason I have the light on it is because this area is a little dark, and I kind of just wanted to show you the hand grip. Now, next thing I noticed is that over here, it didn't sit flush with like on the other side. So in my case, this part will actually fit perfectly right inside. So if I put this in there without tightening down the bolt, as you can see, there is no gap. Therefore, it's going to work perfectly fine on this side. Okay, so right now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and install your bar end, either the ones that came with your hand grips or your aftermarket ones. So for now, for the time being, I'm just going to put this in for now until I actually do that small repair or whatnot for my particular application. So once you go ahead and install this, go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Alright guys, so that pretty much concludes the installation on how to remove and replace your hand grips. If you guys found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you guys are up to date with my latest video, and thank you for watching.